Hello and welcome to another edition of Spotlight Nagaland. I am Chupen Khung and I am pleased to welcome you to another discussion centered around the employment scenario among Naga youths. I have three experts from leading organizations joining me on this show today. My guest and I will be brainstorming over the employment scenario among the local youths within the state, migration to other states, and intervention among other components. I welcome my guest, Dr. Yan Muri. He is a social entrepreneur, recipient of National Tourism Award for Innovation using IT, founder of Pinnacle Skills, and also many more portfolios. Also joining us is Engineer Awalo Keben, manager of Nagaland Tool Room and Training Center. And finally, last but not the least, Mr. Bovika Ayemi, Senior HR Executive at YouthNet Job Center in Dimapur. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on this show today. So I will not spend much time giving an introduction, so I beg your pardon for that, but let us go straight to the discussion. So my first question goes to Dr. Yan Muri. Dr. Yan Muri, you have been working with Naga youths for many years now. And keeping aside government sector, why does Nagaland lack job avenues in private sector? Why is the state far behind in corporate ventures? Why do companies not come to Nagaland to invest? Dr. Yan Muri, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you for inviting me for this show. And as all of us know, our job market, especially the government sector, is saturated, and government is having a tough time to accommodate our youth. And they have formed various bodies also for the recruitment in the government sector. But like you know, not everyone can be accommodated in the government sector. So there has to be industry, there has to be a boom in entrepreneurship, and especially micro enterprises, where these small enterprises, they can create jobs. So basically that is one of the main reasons why there is a lack of job opportunities in the private sector. And adding to that, I think the situation in Nagaland is currently not so attractive for investment. So like you see in other states, like Assam, for example, they are going to start a semiconductor factory where 30,000 youths will be, 30,000 people will be employed. So like that, when we can't think of such a big investment, but if small investments also come into the state, then we can think about creating jobs and making them employable in Nagaland itself.
That's right. Now, Dr. Yan Muri, you mentioned that the environment may not be very conducive. Now, could you shed some light on that? What may be the factors that result in our environment not being very conducive?
See, as all of us know, the political situation, and there is a huge misunderstanding also. When we talk about the political situation in Nagaland, it has changed a lot, especially when you consider 10, 15 years from now and today. See, you see so many investments at a personal level. There are non-locals coming to Dimapur, setting up showrooms, setting up small units, manufacturing units in Nagaland. So it is not that the atmosphere is not conducive, but there has to be a will, there has to be certain policies also from the government side, which has to make Nagaland very conducive for investments.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Dr. Yan. Now let's move on to Mr. Bovika Ayemi. Now, Mr. Bovika Ayemi, YouthNet has been one of the leading organizations when it comes to empowerment of youths. Your organization has trained thousands of youths and empowered them with careers. Now, what are the major employment challenges you face while training Naga youths, and what are the challenges that you face during the placement? Mr. Bovika Ayemi.
All right. So first of all, thank you for the opportunity. So for the challenges, I would say there are some certain challenges that we face while we are trying to place candidates So one I would say is the less salary that is provided. Also, the candidates, I would say both graduates as well as dropouts, I would say around say 60% of who comes with us lack professional etiquette, as well as they lack knowledge on the jobs that are available in Dimapur or say in Kohima or all over Nagaland. So those are some challenges. We also speak to them during the trainings that we provide. We try to give them some certain points on how to search for a job, or what are the things that they have to keep in mind while they are searching for a job, so that they can also make a good career while they are here in Dimapur. So that is how we are also trying to tackle the problem as well.
Right, Mr. Boviga, a counter question now. Your organization reaches out to many people from different areas of Nagaland, from the urban to the most interior parts. Now, what is that one common, or maybe some common stereotyping or misunderstandings that these candidates, these prospective candidates have when they come looking out for your help? What do they think that, what is the most common misunderstanding among them?
Okay, so if I've understood you correctly, so first would be with our organization itself, the program which I'm in right now. So they think that we provide direct placement. So that is one thing that they do not understand. So once they come in, we also let them know, since we are not a training institute, right? We are not providing training on a specific skill set. So the trainings which we provide are on soft skills when it comes to my program. So that is one misunderstanding that they have. So whenever they come in, we try to let them understand. See, whenever you have, say for example, there is a certain job vacancy. So it also depends on the kind of criteria that we will be receiving, as well as the kind of profile that you have. Because if you are a really experienced candidate, then yes, somewhat most of the employers, they are willing to have a conversation with them, right? But when it comes to freshers, we have to make them understand all these things. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think the common misunderstanding may be, since they are reaching out to the YouthNet, maybe everything comes easy. Perhaps, I'm not sure. I'm just saying it's a guesswork here, but perhaps people think that everything comes easy, but it's not so. Reality is a bit harsh. Now, going to Engineer Awalo Kepen, like YouthNet, your organization, the Nagaland Tool Room and Training Center, has been elevating youths. I want to use the word elevating because you have been working with youths from different backgrounds. Now, what are the major projects that the NTTC offers? And is there a particular trade that strikes a chord with the Naga youths?
Okay, yeah. I would like to break it into three parts, just to briefly describe about it. So we are mostly into skill training, and that could include long-term training as well as short-term training. In the long term, we have the diploma trainings that we conduct, and in the short terms, we deal with life skills that is required for a youth to be able to get himself employed. We are mostly into technical lines, but recently we have also started working in various life skills lines also. Apart from that, we also work with entrepreneurs. We try to pave path for them. And also we have an in-house technology building, as well as we also act as a common facility center where we accommodate innovators to build their machines. So yeah, these are the three main activities if I have to divide it into, describe it in a brief way.
All right, now coming back to you, Dr. Yanmuri, now are Naga youths plagued by skill deficits? Also, is there a disparity when it comes to the education that we receive and the requirements of the job market? What do Naga youths actually need in reality, Dr. Yanmuri? Your audio is off, Dr. Yan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
talking about the education system in Nagaland, and not only Nagaland, the whole of India, is flawed. The system has been maybe passed on by the British, and we are just learning, mugging up curriculum which does not translate into any kind of benefit in the future. So there is a need for the curriculum. Thankfully, the national education policy is there now at the foundation level. The curriculum will be made in such a way that there is entrepreneurship imbibed into it, there is skill training imbibed into it. So hopefully in the coming years, things will change. But as of now, the school curriculum, the college curriculum is not of much help. And that is why all training providers are here, like us, who will fill the skill gap, which they don't get in the colleges and schools. We are able to fill the skill gaps and then put them in the industry.
That's right. That's right. There has been a major overhaul right now, and yes, you have rightly also pointed out the national education policy that is currently, under application in several parts of the country now. So we are hoping for a better response or a chain reaction out of that. Now, I would like to come back to Mr. Bofika Ayeme. What are the challenges employers or the markets face while dealing with the Naga youths? Is the Naga mindset a blessing or a stumbling block? What are your experiences, Mr. Ayeme?
Right. So as you mentioned about the mindset right now, so yes, the challenges which the employers face right now is also because of the mindset. So as I said earlier about the high salary, the low salary which is paid by the employers. So right now, as per my experience, what I've seen is most of the employers, they are facing a lot of problem about providing high salary to the candidates, because most of the candidates in Dimapur, from what I've seen, is I would say around 60% are freshers, so they do not have any experience, right? So they have not worked in any organization, or they have not worked with under supervision of anyone. So they do not have any kind of idea about how the organization works. So from here, what problem they face is the candidates, they tend to leave the job very soon, right? Like say within a month or 2 months. So the attrition rate is really high actually in Dimapur. So that is one problem, and the other is the high salary expectation and also the skill set which is required by the market but is not available.
That's right. That's right. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, gentlemen, we'll take a very short break, but it'll be very quick. Please stay with us. We're coming back right away. Welcome back, and thank you for staying on. Now, let's discuss the employment status among Naga youths in private sector. And I want to be very clear here. I am not against any individual or any community, but the question remains, why do we see more non-locals than locals in private sector? And what are the impacts of this phenomenon? Now, I want to ask this question to Mr. Dr. Yan Muri. Yes.
See, it's not that Nagas are not working in Nagaland, but our strength is in the services industry. And when we talk about services, it's like hospitality, hotels, the healthcare sector, employing a lot of nurses, doctors, Nagas. And then there is the education sector, colleges and schools, and employing a lot of our teachers. So in the services sector, Nagas are good, and that is our forte. But when we go around Dimapur, Kohima, then we see a lot of technical jobs where we don't have the required skills and the aspiration also. Like when we talk about technical things like plumbing, electricians, masonry, these are like lucrative jobs. but somehow we don't have the mindset and we don't have the skills. And also here, also I want to put some blame on our public also. They don't accept our Naga youth, keeping aside the Eastern Nagas. They don't accept us to be good workers, especially in these areas. So we should also give them the opportunity to prove themselves. Try our local youths also. Yeah.
Yes, I'm coming back to Engineer Awalo Kepen now. Now, Engineer Awalo, what is the most difficult part of working with Naga youths? Because you have been working with youths from different districts. Now, from all across Nagaland, they come to Dimapur, they come to the Nagaland Toolroom Training Center, hoping for a better better future, or to get themselves skilled and empowered. But in that process, what is the most difficult thing about dealing with Naga youths from your professional experience?
In short, if I have to sum it up in one word, I would say it's the traditional mindset that is stopping them. The traditional mindset of, in fact, the whole of India is still after government. Dependency on government is very huge. And the expectation that they have from private sectors is something that they would want in a government sector. So that expectation, as earlier mentioned by other colleagues, their expectation level is very high. And secondly, we are too used to our comfort zone, which stops them from performing or giving them their best. Of course, I am not saying everyone is like that. There are youths, there are people who are doing very good, but again, the majority of the youths, when they initially start, these are some of the problems that we face with them.
That's right. Now, and our parents, how about the parents, Engineer Awalo Kepen? How are the parents like? How is the mindset or the attitude of the parents when it comes to their children, their children coming and joining your institution, your training institution?
So yeah, as all the points has been roughly mentioned by my other colleagues, but as they have already mentioned, the mindset, as I mentioned earlier, the traditional mindset, the mindset to be a government employee is the first priority. And then when it comes to skill training and when it comes to vocational trainings, the back of the mind, they are like, since they could not do anything, let's take this as a last option. So that also puts an hindrance towards the growth of the youth, and that is, I think, but of course, there has been some changes, and we are seeing a lot of changes, even in the parents as well as the youth, and we are hoping that it will grow better and better in the coming days.
That's right. That's right. You have mentioned something very valid there. Now, with this point, I'm going to Mr. Bovika Ayemi. Now, most of the Naga youths, they think of private sector jobs as a last resort, and that is not new. That is not new. So, how can we as responsible change agents, as we as catalysts of change, how can we alter this mindset, and how can we impress upon the Naga youths that being in the private sector is it's not a last option, but it can be the first option. Now, how can we help change that mindset, Mr. Ayemi?
Right. To change their mindset is very difficult. I've been trying a lot since these whole 3 years which I've been working there in England. So what we can do is we can share all the things, right? Say for example, we can maybe share some individual experiences, how their career have been in the private sector, how they have grown in the private sector. So there are, I do know some individuals, I would say like 2 or 3 people who have been promoted, right? I've been knowing them and they have been promoted to say even a store manager as well for the whole building. So there are, we can share all these experiences to them, right? Also the perks to working in a private sector as well. Let them know the perks, right? The benefits for them as well. So I think that is how we can also letting them know about the work culture and the soft skills that are required. So I think through those things, maybe we can help them. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the individual. So that is all I can say. Thank you.
That's right. I think whenever we are working with not just Naga youths, but with young people, I think it is very important to let them understand, to make them see the perks of working in the private sector, because it's only through encouragement, and also reward is also one of the forms of encouragement and motivation for young people. So I think that is very important. We should, besides giving them idea of the courses that we offer, I think it's important also to mention the perks. Now, Dr. Yan Muri, now you mentioned about, we talked about the Naga environment not being very conducive. Now, how do we change? You see, we have had a lot of stereotyping that Nagaland is not safe, investment is not safe, going there will not be a safe or a wise idea. Now, people have that stereotypical mindset, or unfortunately, the media has spread that wrong information. Now, how do we change that mindset? How do we change that, stereotyping, so that people will be attracted, even more interested to come to Nagaland and invest? How do we change that?
See, first and foremost, we should have the industrial policy. So Nagaland has not seen the industrial policy for the last, since the year 2000. See, when we don't have industrial policy, how can we talk about investment? Our industrial policy is about 2 decades old. So that is what, in our personal capacity, and even with the Business Association of Nagas, where I am the VP. So we are working with the government so that we can help develop a good industrial policy. Where, see, what is the benefit of investing in Nagaland? What are the tax perks? What is the tax holiday people will get? So unless we put that in paper and let people know, then I think we'll be just talking in the air when we talk about investment. See, we have issues, of course, but every state has their own issues. We have a young population, we have a good demographic dividend, but if we are not bringing in investments, and if we are not making good policies for our youth, then I think it will be very late for us.
That's right. That's right. Well, gentlemen, your experiences and knowledge in this field are highly appreciated. And to be very frank, I would love to go on and on, has it not been for the time limitation. But before we wrap up, what are your recommendations or suggestions to address this issue that we face in the present times, especially among the youths? Now, I'll give you just 1 minute each, 60 seconds. What are your recommendations? I'll start with Engineer Kepen.
As I have mentioned earlier, minds have been broadened up, and I believe we will be seeing these changes again. And as Sir Jan has also mentioned about the new education policy, I'm very excited about this new education policy, and I'm hoping that all the schools will start implementing that, so that we can see a better change in the coming days. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Ayemi, any recommendations? 30 seconds.
All right. So right now, our generation, we are also growing, especially digital-wise. So I would recommend them to look at the trending jobs if they do not want to go for the private sectors, right? And also look for other opportunities where there would be more, which they would find interesting. So I think, yeah, that's it.
Dr. Yan Muri, your recommendations, please.
I would like to request the government to come up with a good skill policy. That is number one. Number two, a proper skill gap study. We don't have a proper skill gap study, then we are just walking in the dark. And number three, like I said, we need an industrial policy to boost investment and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Exceptional recommendations. Gentlemen, your ideas, your experiences that you have shared today will be of great benefit. And that brings us to the end of this discussion. I thank my panelists, Dr. Yan Muri, Engineer Kepen, and Mr. Ayemi for joining me today. Northeast Life wishes you the best as you and your esteemed organizations continue to empower and transform people's life. From the studios of Northeast Life in Guwahati, this is Chipen Krung on Spotlight Nagaland. Thank you for watching.